All right, the trap is set. Let's talk about disclaimer episode 5V. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watcher Pass, and today I'm talking to you about disclaimer episode 5 V Roman 5. It's coming to Apple TV Plus on October 23rd, 2024. It is the fifth episode in the disclaimer miniseries, and it has been a fantastic series so far. I have loved this series. It has been wonderful from the get-go. Is episode 5 worth your time? My hot take is I think you should. It's okay. It's a mid episode, as the kids would say these days. There's a lot of slang in this episode, so we'll call it a mid episode. In my normal rating, I would say watch later. Look, if you've gotten this far into disclaimer, you're gonna watch this episode. You're gonna watch the last two episodes. So you are going to watch this. It is just not my favorite episode. It advances the story. It has the same great cast, and I do like that the episodes are getting longer. I like that about this series, but it mostly deals with Nicolas, and he's not my favorite character. I don't like Nicolas at all. So. And it's almost an entire episode that deals with a character you don't like. It kind of comes with the territory. So I think it's okay. If you've seen up to this far, you're going to watch this episode. If you haven't seen Disclaimer yet, it's really good. I would watch this entire series, get through this episode. Hopefully 6 and 7 are going to be better. But all that being said, I'll tell you a little about the episode, a few things I like, a few things I didn't like, and then really quickly go into a recap. So as you can imagine, there will be spoilers in the recap section. If you don't know what happens in this episode, and you might not, there are some big surprises, especially some big surprises for the story. I would turn off when I get to the recap. Before that, though, I'll keep it vague. I'll keep it spoiler free. I'll let you know when I get to those spoilers. So in disclaimer episode 5, remember at the end of episode 4, Catherine was thrown out. She was sent on her business trip. And so now she and Robert are living apart. And Robert is trying to ingratiate himself with his son. Now, is this going to work? Is this going to become an interesting family dynamic? Or is everything going to go downhill now that Stephen Brigstock is setting his trap? Well, you have to watch this episode to find out. So, things I liked about this episode. The first, I still love the cast. I absolutely love the cast, even though this dealt with Nicolas, who I don't like Nicolas's character. The actor who plays Nicolas did a fantastic job. Kodi Smit-McPhee is a good actor. Nothing against him. I just don't like his character. But the acting is fantastic. The acting is superb. The characters are, mostly interesting. I love the cast. So I'm going to continue to rave about this cast because it's fantastic. The second thing I love the music. Now, I've loved the music for every episode, but this one, because it deals with Nicolas, he is a younger character. He is a more hip character. So there's a lot different music than we're used to. Oftentimes with like Stephen Brigstock or Robert, you'll get some classical, you get some lovely string instruments. Here we get a lot more hip hop because we're dealing with Nicolas's life and his, attempts to become cool. So you get a different type of soundtrack, which I like. I like that they mix it up. I like that they changed it for this episode because it focuses on a different character. And the last thing I love the length. I have noticed in a lot of Apple TV Plus series, episodes will start longer and then shrink as it keeps going. Maybe like they were trying to get to the end or they ran out of budget. Who knows? But disclaimer has been steadily increasing. The first episodes, I want to say, were 48 minutes. And the last few episodes were 50 to 52 minutes. This one's 55 minutes. They are getting longer. It's great. I love this series. So I'm happy that they are kind of pumping more, padding more into this series. So all that being said, things I did not love as much about this. The first, I've already said it. I don't care about Nicolas. I don't find him interesting. I don't care about his struggle. I don't care about his emotional turmoil. He's just not that interesting of a character to me. So an episode that deals with Nicolas, not super interesting to me. Maybe there will be some sort of redemption arc later. Maybe there will be something that'll ingratiate me to him, but I think so. And the second thing I didn't love, I'll call it Catherine's decisions. There is there's a series of decisions that Catherine makes in this episode that just felt rushed, didn't feel natural, didn't feel like the way that she would normally go about things, which it makes sense given what's happening, but there was one specific thing that felt very rushed to advance the story. So I won't go here. I'll get into it in the recap, but just know a couple things about this episode I didn't love as much, which is why I kind of called this a mid episode. So all that being said, disclaimer episode 5 or V comes to Apple TV Plus on October 23rd, 2024. Like I said, it's okay, but this series has been great so far. So watch up through this episode and hopefully make sure to catch up in time because I assume 6 and 7 are going to be really, really good. So I'm gonna really quickly go into a recap right now. If you don't want to know what happens this episode, I would turn it off now because there will be spoilers. So the past episodes of Disclaimer have jumped in time. We've had some things with Joinathan's travels. We've had Stephen and Nancy going to kind of claim Joinathan's body, and then we've had the present time. Well, this is all present time. We've gotten through the past. There'll probably be 1 or 2 more flashbacks in the future, but this one is all present. So I'm just going to go through and talk about the present. So, remember Catherine left. Catherine was thrown out of her house by Robert, so she goes to live with her mom. And at her mom's house, she kind of moves back in, and she still is doing Catherine things. Like she doesn't tell her mom what's going on. She hides the truth, something about like a renovation or something like that. So she is hiding what's going on from her mother. Seems like maybe this is a hallmark of her overall relationship, her overall upbringing. Seems like she is consistently hiding things for appearances. Stephen has been working on this plan to kind of like destroy Catherine, to destroy Catherine's life. And so his next step is to create an Instagram account. And I love this because in the last episode, he was asking about a Facebook account. And I specifically said in my review, like, I mean, yeah, if he wants to be old, he really should do like an Instagram or a TikTok. Well, his, younger friend told him like, no, you don't want to do it Facebook. That's only for old people. You want to do Instagram. And so he creates an Instagram account for Joinathan Brigstock using old pictures of Joinathan that they kind of like touched up to make him look a little bit more modern, memes, things like that. He created an account for Joinathan Brigstock. And I did like that there was some time put into this because one thing you notice is it's not like an instant spam bot account. There's plenty of pictures, and also he got a few followers, so it's not like Joinathan has like zero followers or like no followers and following like 50. He has like 20 followers, I think, and he's following like 52. So it's an evenish, non-suspicious account that he creates. Now, Nicolas is living with Robert, and Robert is doing his best to kind of like be the happy, bubbly father, making sure everything is okay. But Nicolas detects something is off. He detects something's going on, and specifically, he feels sorry for his mom for once. And I guess because he's rebellious, or because he is just in turmoil, or because he just hates his life for some reason, he sneaks off and goes to a heroin den and does heroin. I was like, dang, that's like big D drugs. That's just not like him smoking pot or, dabbling in like cocaine. Like he is doing heroin. So didn't realize that about Nicholas. I don't know why he's doing. I guess maybe he's like dealing with his own issues, but he is doing heroin. So Steven, after he creates this Instagram account, he also wants to kind of like destroy Catherine at work. So he goes and whets like the appetite for the story at Catherine's work. He goes and talks to Jisoo, who is like a junior, I think, reporter, a junior analyst or something like that Catherine had look into Stephen Brigstock, and then she like killed that story instantly. So he goes and talks to her. He gives her the book, The Perfect Stranger. He says that Catherine's been harassing him, and it also drops that Catherine let his son die. And this gets Jisoo's, appetite interested. She's a reporter, so she's going to be interested about the truth anyways. But also, I think she wants to like, it'll give her a way to get up in this organization if she can like get something on Catherine. Maybe that'll help her rise up in the ranks. And Steven detects that she has like ambition. So he thinks that he is laying enough groundwork that she's going to sniff this out. But then he quickly leaves to make sure that he doesn't tell her everything and make sure she investigates this on her own. So meanwhile, his plan against Nicholas is happening also. He sends a friend request to Nicholas, and Nicholas accepts it, and they follow each other. So they start talking. And I did love that like Steven has a full decoder page here of all the various like internet slangs and things like that. Like his friend is amazing. I don't know why his friend did all this without being suspicious, but his friend like wrote out various, shortened phrases, various things that the kids say these days. And so Steven is trying to communicate with Nicholas. Nicholas also is talking to his mom, and his mom makes some small talk and then brings up that trip about Italy. And he gets pissed. He's like, hey, like, I'm sick of you asking me about this. Like, why are you and dad asking me about this trip? He keeps saying he doesn't remember it, and we have no reason to believe he does remember it, but it is interesting that they keep bringing it up. He keeps saying he doesn't remember it. I feel like at some point, maybe we'll have a flashback. Maybe we'll have some sort of a vision that he has. We'll see. Now, again, like I said, I don't like Nicholas's character. He doesn't like peanut M&Ms. Who doesn't like peanut M&Ms? He and Joinathan connect because they post a meme about like burning down a peanut M&M factory and like not liking peanut M&Ms. Who doesn't like peanut M&Ms? Unless you're allergic. Understand that. If you're not allergic, I mean, they're not my favorite, but I mean, peanut M&Ms are good. They're better than regular M&Ms. So it's weird. I don't understand it. Also, Nicholas treats his mom like garbage, which is very frustrating. Like he's literally on the phone with her. They're talking, and he's like, hold on. He goes and like checks his Instagram feed because he got a notification, and like just has her wait there for like 2 minutes while he bromances Joinathan, and then like goes back and talks to her. I'm like, dude, that's like you're on the phone, like literally on the phone. And maybe it's supposed to be his character, maybe it's supposed to show how mean he is or how angry he is with his mom, but like again, I just don't like his character. So there it is. Now Catherine, meanwhile, is dealing with the fallout of Steven's little game he's playing. And so at work, she gets confronted by what Steven said. The like HR manager's there and Jisoo are there. They confront her. She tries to correct the record, but it was weird. Like, I feel like Catherine should have been able to correct the record, been like, no, like, I don't know why he told you this. He has been harassing me. I don't know what this book is. It's all fiction. Like, she should have been able, like, she can lay the groundwork here to at least blunt the story. But she half explains it and then like storms out. And as she's storming out, the HR person like grabs her arm and says, "Kathy, like hold on." And she turns around and smacks him. So like, A, probably shouldn't have grabbed her arm. It wasn't like a hard grab. It was more like a, like a friendly grab, but still shouldn't have touched her. B, she shouldn't have slapped him. That was very bad. And also that felt like a big reaction from her, not something that you would normally expect from Catherine, especially in this world, Catherine, like composed Catherine, not young, in love, crazy Catherine. Composed Catherine doesn't feel like she would do that. I guess it's supposed to show like how much this is affecting her and how quickly she is going downhill. But again, it felt like a big jump. It moves the story along because she smacks him and that has negative consequences later, but it felt like a big jump. This whole like escalation here felt like a big jump. Now, Steven has been ingratiating himself with Nicholas and then he springs the trap. He eventually talks to him about the book. Then he sends him a bunch of pictures of his mother from the beach trip, most notably the like picture of his mother and him at the beach, and then his mother in like various layers of undress, and then also goes back and tells him who he was a little boy in that book. The book was real. The book is about his mother, all this stuff. And this seems to affect Nicholas. Now, Nicholas goes back to the heroin den, gets high, he vomits, he pees on the book, he gets really angry about the fact that he was saved. And I guess he didn't feel like he should have been saved. Like they said the thing that like bothered him most was like him in the boat on the edge of the world, in that little like dinghy thing, and like how he shouldn't have been saved was weird. Like I don't know why he would dwell on that. Like I don't know why that would be the image he has, unless he's just that angry with himself and his amazing life that he has. But um, he gets pissed about this. He imagines like what his mother's life would have been like if he would have just died, and then his mother would have come back as the grieving mom, and she would have been perfectly fine. It's a weird thing to dwell on. It's a weird thing for him to then become like so upset about, but I guess that's what he becomes upset about. Now, Steven meets Robert for dinner, and there he's trying to get like everyone against Catherine. So he's done that with Nicholas by telling him what his mother did and like showing him her being neglectful. Now he's getting Robert on his side. So they meet for dinner. Robert instantly apologizes for his wife's behavior. It seems like all the troops are marshaling against Catherine. Work, Nicholas, Robert. Maybe he'll turn her mother. I don't think she will. I don't think he will. He hasn't contacted the mother yet. So, but it feels like a lot of influences in Catherine's life are now going to be marshaled against her. Nicholas that night calls Catherine crying, and she tries to call him back, but I guess there's bad reception in the heroin den. He doesn't pick up, calls drop, whatever. But Nicholas mouths to her like when they're like not actually on the phone, but when you kind of think she's on the phone, like "I hate you, and then he punches the wall a lot in like a little baby way, and then he cries and he then passes out in the heroin den. And as it's leaving, as the shot's pulling out, the narrator says he never wants to leave this place. This is where he knows he can be his best self. So I guess Nicholas is just very dark or self-loathing, something. He's at the heroin den. He's passed out. That's the episode. That's the ending. I guess we'll see what happens. I don't really know what's gonna happen. If I had to guess, what was gonna happen, and I've not read the book. I don't know. Feels like Nicholas is gonna go downhill very quickly. I wonder if he's gonna overdose. Because he's so angry with his mother and so angry at what happened that maybe he will overdose. Maybe he will do that to try to like get back at her. And that will probably cause something else to happen. Like if he overdoses, maybe Catherine will kind of like take matters in their own hand and get revenge for the death of her son on Steven. Maybe. That's just kind of like my quick guess. I don't know. Maybe Robert will go and save him and like be his savior. Maybe Steven will not realize like how bad this has gotten, and maybe he'll realize, how much he's hurting Nicholas and he'll go and save him. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's a weird game that Steven's playing. He's trying to destroy Catherine, but it does feel like he's very much hurting Nicholas, and maybe he didn't realize that he was hurting Nicholas that much. So perhaps Steven will feel bad about Nicholas's decline, but I guess we will find out very soon. We'll find out next week. But that is Disclaimer episode 5. It comes to Apple TV Plus on October 23rd, 2024. And if you do check it out, let me know what you think. Let me know what you liked and didn't like. I'd love to hear it. And thanks so much for watching. If you like this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.